All right, let's dive into something I'm sure we all think about. In a world that's just overflowing with information, why does it feel so impossible to actually pay attention? And maybe more importantly, what can we do to fix it?
You know the feeling, right? That endless scroll on your phone, swiping through story after story. And at the end of it, you feel like you've seen everything but retained, well, pretty much nothing. That sense of digital overload, it's not just you. It's become a totally universal experience.
And this quote just hits the nail on the head. It perfectly captures the crazy paradox we're all living in. We have access to literally everything, but our own attention, that's become the rarest thing of all. And that, right there, is the core problem we're going to unpack.
Now, the first thing we have to get straight is that this isn't some kind of personal failure. It's not about a lack of willpower. It's a systemic issue. We're basically living through what some people call an attention famine, and it's a direct result of the media world we've built.
I mean, just think about how you consume content. Chances are you're on a small screen right now, probably with a dozen notifications just waiting to pop up. Our digital lives are, by their very nature, fragmented. We skim, we scan, and we're always just one ping away from being distracted.
And this slide really shows the disconnect. On the left, you've got the old way of doing things. You know, the print model. It's this rigid, one-size-fits-all block of content that just assumes you're going to sit down and give it your undivided attention. But on the right, that's where we need to be. A model that's flexible, that adapts, that's actually designed for how we live today. That old approach is just plain broken.
So, if the old way is broken, what's the fix? Well, we need a whole new way of thinking. A new framework for how we create and present information online, one that's built from the ground up for our very distractible modern brains. Let's see what that looks like.
So here it is. It's called the Digital Engagement Model, or DM for short. And this isn't just guesswork. It's a framework that's actually based on cognitive science. It's all about designing content that doesn't just grab your attention for a fleeting second, but actually earns it and holds on to it. And this is absolutely crucial. The DM isn't about clickbait or cheap tricks. The goal isn't just more clicks. The goal is meaningful engagement. It's about helping people actually connect with what they're seeing, especially in those first few make or break seconds.
Okay, so how does this thing actually work in practice? Well, it's pretty simple, really. It's broken down into two main parts. And the first part is all about understanding the user and their context. And lucky for us, there's a really simple acronym to help remember it. It's called the user's digital diet. D is for demographics, their general background. I is for their individual interests. What are they actually curious about right now? E is for their environment. Think about it. Are they on a noisy bus or are they relaxed on their couch? And T is for time. Do they have 30 seconds to spare or 30 minutes to deep dive? Every single one of these things changes the game.
So, once we have a good idea of the user's diet, once we know who we're talking to, then we can move on to the second part of the model. And that's all about how you actually craft the content itself to be as engaging as possible.
And for that, we add a little spice. S is for scannable, so you can get the main idea in just a few seconds. P is for personalized, so it feels like it was made just for you. I is for interactive, giving you some control over the experience. C is for curates curiosity, making you actually want to learn more. And finally, E is for emotional, to create a real human connection. You put that all together, and that's how you cut through the noise.
Okay, so that's the theory. Diet and spice. Sounds good, right? But what does this actually look like when you put it into practice? Let's check out a real-world example.
So, this is what we're all used to seeing, right? The infamous wall of text. It's that one-size-fits-all approach that completely ignores everything about the user's diet. And let's be honest, for most of us, this is an instant invitation to just swipe away.
But what if we flip that on its head? What if, instead of forcing everyone down the same rigid path, we actually gave people control? What if we gave them a choice in their own journey?
And this is the Smart Story Suite. Instead of one giant article, the user gets a menu. If you're in a rush, boom, hit the 30-second summary. If you're a data person, you can go straight to the charts. It's a simple but powerful idea called choice architecture. Just by giving people options, you massively increase their engagement. You're respecting their time and their interests, serving both the person who just wants to skim and the person who wants to do a deep dive.
All right, so let's just zoom out for a second. Why does all of this, diet, spice, the smart story, why does it matter so much, especially right now? What are the real stakes here?
Well, because this is about so much more than just getting views on a cat video.
This is about making sure that critical information, we're talking about science, about public health, about civics, can actually cut through all the digital clutter and reach the people who need to see it. It's about making knowledge accessible to everyone, not just a few.
So, I'll leave you with this final thought. Now that you're armed with these ideas, with this framework of diet and spice, how are you going to look at the digital world differently? Will you start to see the hidden architecture of engagement in everything you scroll through online?